thing to throw in today, loves. We're going to also multiply by mixed numbers. The same rules apply. We cannot multiply unless we're multiplying two fractions. So what do you need to do to all of your mixed numbers? Well, right here, step number 1 says we're going to change all of our mixed numbers to improper fractions. We have to have two fractions before we can multiply. Step number 2, multiply as usual, numerators and denominators, and then last but not least, we should check to see if we can simplify. So here we go. First example, 4 into 6 times 3/10. I have one fraction, but I do not have two fractions. I have a mixed number. So I'm going to change that mixed number into an improper fraction. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 2 is 26. So 26/6 times 3/10. Now this, my loves, is where canceling absolutely comes in handy. Look at those numbers, they're pretty big. Let's see if we can shrink them down. Let's start this direction first. Can I cancel anything or divide anything out of 6 and 3? And yes, they both have a factor of 3. So I can divide 3 by 3, it turns into 1. I can divide 6 by 3, it turns into 2. Let's go the other direction. 26 and 10, do they share any factors? Well, yes, they do. They share a 2. If you're not sure, number 1 is they're both even numbers. Remember, we know every even number is divisible by 2. You could also list your factors until you find something they have in common. But I will tell you they share a factor of 2. So 10 divided by that 2 leaves me with 5. 26 divided by that 2 leaves me with 13. Now I'm ready to do my multiplying. I've got 13 on the top times the 1 on the top leaves me with 13 as my numerator. On the bottom, I have a 2 times a 5, leaving me with 10. And we need to turn that back into a mixed number because it's an improper fraction. 10 goes into 13 one whole time, and there are 3/10 left over. Our last example, we are trying to multiply, but we can't even get started at all because we have two mixed numbers. We don't have any fractions yet. So what are we going to do? We're going to turn them into fractions, and then we can multiply. So 2 and 2/3 means I'm going to take 3 times 2, that's 6, plus my numerator of 2, which is 8, and put that over 3. And then my 4 and 2/10, I'm taking my 10 times 4, which is 40, plus 2 is 42 over 10. And I'm ready to multiply. However, those are pretty big numbers. I want to see if I can cancel, and I think I can. So I'm going to go this direction first. I can divide both 8 and 10 by 2. So I'm going to divide 10 by 2 and turn it into 5. Divide 8 by 2 and turn it into 4. Let's check the second direction, 42 and 3. So let's reason our way through this. I know that I can divide 3 by 3. That's the only factor that 3 has, other than 1. So, do you think maybe I could divide 42 by 3 as well, so I can cancel? Or if we're not sure, we're going to test it out. So 42 divided by 3. Can we do it? 3 goes into 4 once. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. Bring down my 2. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. And that leaves me with nothing. So can I do 42 divided by 3? Yes, I can. 42 divided by 3 leaves me with 14. So I can cancel because I can divide both 3 and 42 by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 42 divided by 3 leaves me with 14. Now that gives me a little bit more manageable of numbers. My 14 times 4, I might not know what that is, so we're going to do that down here. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, so it's 56 on top. And then 1 times 5 on the bottom is 5. Last thing is I have to turn my improper fraction back into a mixed number. It cannot stay an improper fraction. So 56 divided by 5. 56 divided by 5, 5 goes into 5 once. Minus 5 is 0. Bring down my 6. 6 divided by 5 goes once. 1 times 5 is 5. 6 minus 5 is 1. That means 11 whole times with 1/5 left over.